Up next, we have our Olympic ring-inspired exercise. So we're going to again begin seated forward in our chairs with our feet firmly planted on the ground. And this exercise is going to be inspired by circular movements as well as interlocking movements, mimicking what those Olympic rings look like that are the staple image of the Olympics. So we're going to imagine the 3 Olympic rings on the top and the 2 on the bottom, all interlocking, and those 5 rings represent the 5 continents that send athletes to the Olympics every year. So we're going to take a second to close our eyes and imagine that image in our minds. We're going to see the way the circles interlock. And think about how that circular shape has an infinite quality to it. Sitting with that image in your mind for a moment. Gently opening our eyes, we're going to begin going over some of the movements in this exercise, keeping in mind that image throughout. So we're going to begin with a shoulder circle, into an elbow circle, into an arm circle. Imagining that we just drew those 3 Olympic rings on the top row stacked above each other. After the arm circle, we're going to bring our arm up and let it billow down, imagining it's the flag that represents your country at the Olympics. We're going to repeat that on the other side. Shoulder circle, elbow circle, arm circle. So come up and billow down. We're going to move on to making a giant circle with both arms, leaning forward a little, and we're going to tuck our head into the ring. And after we tuck it in, we're going to imagine that we're hula hooping with the Olympic ring down. So a slight rotating motion in your torso as that ring hula hoops down. I'm going to repeat that, making the big ring, putting our head through, letting the ring come down and rotating the other way, the hula hoop the other way with the Olympic ring. Beautiful. Next, we're going to go into a motion of making a torch. So we're going to take our arms and allow our forearms to rest against each other, like so, with our palms facing toward us. Then we're going to cross the elbows and allow our hands to drag along our forearms, really making that contact. And once we reach our hands, we're going to crumple them in together and blow, make our Olympic torch. So to repeat that again, that is bringing our forearms together, crossing at the elbows, letting our hands drag along our forearms, really making the connection, and then bringing our fingers together, curling in, giving a gentle blow to make your torch. And once we have our torch, we're going to draw the Olympic rings in the air in front of us, imagining that the motion is never ending. And once we have our rings created, we're going to blow out the torch. And we're going to imagine that we're exploring the space around the Olympic rings. So as an example, I have a hula hoop here. We're going to imagine that we have 5 of these in front of us. 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5. And we're going to imagine that we're exploring the space. So you can explore the space around it, such as by tracing the Olympic rings. You could explore the space inside it, maybe by reaching an arm through, or your head, or a foot, maybe an elbow. Really just exploring all of the space around it. And again, when you have 5 rings, there's going to be a lot more space to explore around it than if you just had the 1. So just for a visual idea, kind of imagining you have these 5 3D rings in front of you and you're exploring the space around it using your body. Around the positive and negative space. I'm going to set this to the side. And after we have explored that space, we're going to reignite our Olympic flame. So we're going to drag our hands across our forearms, blow again to reignite the Olympic flame, and we're going to let it come up to a nice gentle finish. I'm going to get the music started. The music we're using for this exercise should sound familiar if you were keeping up with the Olympics. It typically plays before the Olympic program starts on the TV. So I'm going to get the music started and we'll begin. starting with our shoulder circle. And our elbow, stacking those rings on top of each other, arm, letting the side billow down, and shoulder, and elbow, into the arm, and reaching up, and flag billowing down. Now drawing a big ring, tucking our head under, and looping down, slight rotation of your torso, and making another big ring, bringing that up overhead, and looping the other way. Here comes our torch making. Our forearms come together, crossing at the elbow, and dragging our hands along the forearms, and igniting our flame. We'll draw our rings, interlocking them, 3 on the top and 2 on the bottom. Once our rings are drawn, blowing out that torch. Now we're going to imagine with these 3D rings in front of us that we're exploring the space around them. Through. And we're going to reignite our torch. Crossing the forearms. We're going to bring this flame up to the sky. Brighten down. And arms up. And bow. Beautiful, thank you.